So dramatic.
Welcome back, guys. It has been 4 weeks since we've rolled dice together. A lot's happened. We went to Creative South, and you Tracy and Ray did something else. I don't know what you guys did.
We hung out without you.
We did without you.
Oh,
Nice.
that would actually make me so happy.
We're not kidding.
I'm not kidding
We
at
hung
all.
out without you.
Then we need some pictures and some stories. But yeah, we're back here playing D&D. I think we're all in a little bit of a weird spot, but just like we had said, I don't know, I believe it's 8 weeks now. We're going to just start off recognizing Ukraine is still under attack. I'm a Christian, so like the thing I've been praying about a lot is just like how can they keep their humanity through all this? And when I think about what happened with us in 9/11, I remember like how jazzed we were in watching us like rocket villages in desert countries. And just like, and how much we've learned decades after that. And just like, I can't imagine what Ukraine's going through now. I believe I read online a few days ago, it's been over 45 days since they've been besieged. So yeah, let's just take a small moment and then we'll start our shenanigans. There's no way to transition out of this. We're just going to do it. All right. So I sent a message in our Slack a few hours ago being like level 2. And I'm not thinking we're all there quite yet. So we're going to start today before we even get into our game and back into our sessions or our campaign. I just want to talk about like, where's everyone at with their characters? Because there's a lot of things in here that could kill a level 1. And I would love to keep. So I think before I
not die.
Yeah, but I believe everyone rolled their health last time. Is that true?
Yes.
Mhm.
Cool.
I want to say I went through the whole process with mine last time. I want to say
Okay.
that we stayed
You
after
did.
and did
You
mine.
did.
So like I'm set right now.
Perfect. And then, so who else is like, does someone else want to be like, I don't know if mine's all done yet. We need to talk.
I know that mine's not. I haven't touched it since we left.
Okay, so I'll get this thing. So you do have health though, right? That's updated. That's in the double digits now, I'm assuming.
It's 15, so I'm guessing that's level 2.
That sounds like you got the little boost. And you're a ranger?
I'm a rogue.
Rogue, that's right. Tracy, you're the ranger. We're gonna. It's
The
been a month.
Power Ranger.
His name is L.
The Rescue Ranger.
Okay, so do you
The
have the
Forest
player's
Ranger.
manual? Do you own the player's manual, Andrew?
Oh yeah, I do.
Cool. So if you just go to
Somewhere.
the rogue, I don't know what page that is. I'm slowly going through. It's going to walk us through like what you need to do for level 2. Bye. There's the ranger. And then Ray, how are you doing with your character? Are you all level 2'd?
I want to say there wasn't a lot of extra stuff for the rogue, I don't think. So I think we covered most of it.
Yeah, it's much less than others because you guys get so much at level 1.
I have cunning, action, dash, disadvantage, and hide. So if that sounds about right, then.
Yes, and I believe cunning action allows you to do those things you just mentioned.
So maybe that was my note then, because I'm just reading what I wrote on my.
Yep. So Andrew, if you go, it's page 94 in my book. I'm assuming we all have the same book. On page 95, the next page, it shows you second level. Your proficiency bonus doesn't change. Your sneak attack is still only a D6, and you gain cunning action. But you can see at level 1, you start out with expertise, sneak attack, and thieves' cant. And that's the reason why level 2 just feels a little bit less. I believe like Tracy got a whole bunch of things. Tracy, the ranger, you got like your fighting style, right?
Yeah, so we haven't set it yet, but yeah, there's like I have to choose the fighting style, and obviously we're going through those awesome retrofitted magical spells too. So like I have some of those like locked and loaded, but I don't know what I'm doing. So we're gonna.
That's
go
right. We're
over
going to
that.
come back to that. But that's why like cunning action seems, and if you read cunning action, which is on the top of page 96 on the right side there, it says starting at second level, your quick thinking and agility allow you to move and act quickly. You can take a bonus action on each of your turns in combat. This action can be used only to take the dash, disengage, or hide action.
I'm sorry, Will. What type of action did you say that was?
A bonus action. So like for most part, you could either disengage to remove yourself, What did I miss? Oh, I'm gonna be so slow tonight. I
Nothing,
can feel it.
You just say it weird. I don't know. You just say it weird.
Bonus.
Bonus.
You say bonus,
Bonus.
just like Lauren says one
Instead of one, you say.
instead of
I
one.
don't group me with that. That's
Yeah, fair.
I'm bad, but I'm not
It looks
that
like
bad.
it looks like we did do it because cunning action is already in my
Perfect.
character sheet. So it looks like maybe we did go
It's
through it
because we
there
didn't get
wasn't a lot.
shit.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we
so
didn't get a lot.
that's the one thing I just want you guys to like really keep in mind. Like my favorite out of all those is for sure disengage. Rogue also uses hide a ton.
Yeah. How you get
but-
sneak attack.
But if you were to attack someone with your dagger and then try to run away, the enemy would automatically get what's called an opportunity attack or attack of opportunity. And with disengage, that allows you to like back away without them taking that attack. So if there's ever a moment where you're trying to like get away and you haven't used your bonus action yet, that's always a really good way to use it. Keep in mind too, so this gives you a bonus action or gives you something you can use as your bonus action every turn. Dang it, stop smiling. I'm gonna need to talk to someone. You can only have, no matter what, one bonus action around. So if you get other things that like stack bonus actions, you don't get more than one. So
But
just
we
keep
do
that in
get
mind.
it every round because I think
Of
the way
combat,
I've
yeah.
played the rogue before is I think in my head I've always thought that the bonus action comes once per rest.
No, yeah. So cutting action, cutting action is really
This is really nice. Like
Yeah.
this now that I know that I can do this every round in combat, that's super helpful.
why
We can
some-
also hide, and then the next time when you go to
You can do sneak
use
attack.
an attack, yeah, you can if you successfully hit.
Now there will be discussions because my brother is like the best rogue I've ever played with, right? He knows every little detail. If you were to attack someone and then run away and be like, I use hide, there'd have to be a discussion of like, what is that? Like you just stabbed him and ran away. Like, what does hiding mean in this situation?
But if it's long, like if it's a distance
You can
thing,
only move 30 feet. So
depends on I
So I'm
guess
just like,
the area.
I am always down for a conversation.
Yeah, okay. So
All
we
right.
can persuade you, is what you're saying.
Easily, most likely. All right.
He's
So-
a pushover.
It's totally pushover. So
I
Andrew, you're confident with your level 2 now. Ray, you've got your extra health and your level 2. Patrick seemed confident right out of the gate. Tracy. So something that's a little bit different than what the rogue gets. Rangers get just like magic. They're supposed to be so in tune with their surroundings, but because we're playing a sci-fi setting, and I believe Tracy has said, at least for the moment, you want to stay away from magic. You don't want to have to do with like the chart or anything. You just want to be like, which means very similar to how we handled Patrick's spells. We're just going to try to select things like we can either talk out with like a device, or it's just like this is like a natural thing. Like Patrick has charm person. We just say like that's not a magic thing. That's just him being able to charm people with his charisma. Like he's just like that kind of person. So what are you looking at, Tracy, currently?
For spells.
Yeah.
And so I'm fairly certain that at the first level I get 2 spell slots. So I have like
Yes.
2 in mind. Is that correct?
Yep.
Awesome. Okay, so I had some fun sitting down with these and trying to think about how I could like retrofit them to a non-magical space. One that was like really obvious to me from the outset was I would like fog cloud, and I want them to be smoke bombs.
Sounds great. Do you have that up right now? Can you read out what it does?
Yeah, so fog cloud, you create a 20-foot radius sphere of fog centered on a point within range. The sphere spreads around corners, and its area is heavily obscured. It lasts for the duration or until a wind of moderate or greater speed, at least 10 miles per hour, disperses it. Do you want to read the higher levels bit, or is that good?
No, I think that's good. So yeah, you're gonna have smoke bombs. I think that's great.
Yeah.
And it's not. We're not going to talk about how do you get more or anything.
Mhm.
You just you can't use more than 2 a day. So you need a long rest to regain those 2 spell slots. And what's the second spell you're thinking about?
Okay. I'm writing this all down because I know I'm going to forget this after
Don't worry,
2 weeks.
I will also
The-
try to help.
The other one I really liked, again, I know you're not going to like push, but I was kind of tickled by it, was Hunter's Mark.
Mm-hmm.
And so to read how it's set up with magic is you choose a creature you can see within range and mystically mark it as your quarry. Until the spell ends, you deal an extra 1d6 damage to the target whenever you hit it with a weapon attack, and you have advantage on any wisdom perception or wisdom survival check you make to find it. if the target drops to 0 hit points during the spell, before the spell ends, you can use a bonus action on a subsequent turn to mark a new creature. And I thought it would be really funny just for it to be like a bit like a drone, essentially, like kind of like attached to stuff. Because I figured since it can't be magic and I can't like ward
Ooh,
it or
creative.
whatever, maybe it's like so Sam, like the new Captain America, has that little like dude that like flies around. I was like, maybe it's something like that where I just like toss it and it kind of like tracks and latches, and that's how like it does damage, right? And then it can kind of detach once like the core is finished and then come back. So I thought that might be a good
Cool.
alternate.
So,
all the
like what I
criteria.
said to you earlier, I'm not gonna fight you. Like whatever you want, whatever's in your head is the coolest thing. Great.
Can you
what I
fight
would-
me a little? Because I worked really hard on this.
So what I would just
Just kidding,
keep in
please don't.
mind, like if we're trying to picture the scene, right?
Mhm.
Very similar to your bath bot. Like I think
Right.
flying around is something that could be taken out easily.
Mm.
Other options you could have that would be more tech focused would be something like a laser dot sight or something that like actually physically marks the person, right? Like fluorescent paint or something like that. If you're like, no, man, I want this bot, like
It could be
cool.
it had masking, like the little
No,
like
I'm just gonna be like, you know what? Like they just won't see it. Like I'm not gonna push it any further.
Because that was the hardest thing, is like, how is it not like easily apparent to all that they're being tracked, right? In a way that like kind of makes us like, yeah, if it's like a stealth dude or something,
Right.
or like it's little. I'm not talking about like something like this big. It's like tiny. I was like,
Right.
maybe that would work, but I'm down for whatever. 'cause I
It
still don't know
only
what it
gives
does.
you the benefits, right?
Yes.
So if it's something small and you've got like goggles on or something that like it's a digital readout of its location, like that could also be, there's like a bunch of things you could figure out. It could just be, there could be no bot. It could just be digital glasses that like lock onto people where no one else can see it, and no one can interact with it. It's just like something on your side. But again, if you're like, no, I want like, I love the idea of like casting out a little bot, then there's going to be no qualms and I'm not going to bring it up ever again.
you could also have lenses, like contact lenses or something.
Yeah, any of that kind of.
eye.
I also like was not entirely sold on it because I know we had talked previously about the fact that like we don't really have like a healer around, and I don't know how like
We don't.
medic stuff doesn't work.
Don't worry, I'll
And
be the
one
healer
of-
next.
The next round, because like one of the other spells is cure wounds,
Ooh.
and so I was like, yeah.
See,
Yeah,
okay,
if you
so
want, like, a
Hunter's
field
Mark is
medic.
huge for Rangers too, but like then to me it would be that and Cure Wounds versus a Smoke Bomb. Like those two sound stronger than your Smoke Bomb.
No, I can go ahead and tell you
Right.
that my character would prefer if you had a smoke bomb.
Until because you don't mind dying.
100%.
Because you're gonna cast smoke, you're gonna do smoke bomb, and then I'm gonna cast color spray, and it's gonna look cool as shit.
I
Yeah.
love that. I love that. If we're not going for stealth, like just for
again,
fun, right?
Then I'll
I'm
die.
not
and
trying to
become a healer.
survive. Yeah, exactly, because he doesn't mind dying.
I would also say, like, so does anyone, who's our money person again? Did we all split up money or does one person kind of keep in the pot?
I think we split it.
I still have it on my credits, but
Okay.
the intent was that when we all came back together, I was going to disperse it. Like
How
I was
much-
the one who was scanning the.
How much
thing.
do we have?
I have.
I have
on the-
70 gold on me.
Yeah, so I think
Microphone, Andrew. I mean,
He was
it's
trying.
hard because I have to pick it up
I
and
know,
I have to.
but it's just I just want to hear. I want to hear you tickle the inside of my ear. Is what I'm saying.
So it looks like
Put it
I've
down.
got
I've got 950 from our job,
Okay.
and then 225 from. I don't know what the 225 is from, and I have plus 70.
Okay. So what I would say
Like,
is,
that's all the that's all the shared amount. I have the 750 that I started with, and then this is all what I've been scanning as we've been doing jobs.
you started with 750.
That's what it says.
That sounds wrong.
Oh no, you're right. It's not. 750 is that a year?
Yes, it is LR 750.
Okay. I couldn't figure out why I had 750 sitting next to like in my like notes. I'm like,
Uh-huh.
okay, I guess I started with 700.
You probably started with like 5 or 10. I was just like 750.
I was seriously
I was
thinking
gonna
like
say.
money bags over here. Like what?
I was
So
like, and he was a rogue, and that's what you start with, because like I
this
should
is
have.
what I saw. 750, and
That's
then I had all
awesome.
my notes, and I'm like, oh, I guess I started with 750.
So what I'd say is, if you guys, if like right now you don't have a healer, and if that's just how things are, you guys have a pot where you could buy health stims. I think we introduced that on the store that's above Raji's. So
Yeah, that's the fortified array place, right?
yeah, so this is something you can substitute cure wounds healing with kind of these stim packs. It would be the same thing. You wouldn't be using a spell slot, but you'd be using your action to like apply it to somebody.
That's
So
a
just
health
like
potion.
yeah, and it's kind of like
Okay.
in the future, right? Or even right
I'm
now, we
thinking
don't.
a shot. I want to stab y'all to cure you.
Yeah, but like we don't rely on
Yes.
shamans anymore or anything like that, right? Like we just have doctors, and I can just go to the pharmacy and just get it without seeing a doctor now. So there's like things that don't necessarily be like, I need to do cure wounds because we need a healer. Just do what you think is like cool and the most fun, and then we can substitute healing with money.
Hmm. Yeah, while like I had it like kind of on the back burner because I wanted to put the fourth, and like I do think stabbing you all with an adrenaline like healer would be really fun if
Me
I'm
too.
playing in the back. So but if that's not really a concern, because again I haven't done D&D before, I haven't actually engaged in any fighting at all ever, so I don't really know how it works. And
Your
that's kinda
hunter's
why-
mark then. Do your hunter's mark.
Okay, yeah, then
Yeah.
I'm fine with that.
We'll
I'm
deal with
happy
cure
to
wounds,
crowdsource
by the
it.
way.
Okay.
There's
Sounds
also
good.
there's like this, and this is meta. This is like outside of our gameplay, but if we like today's actually gonna be quite a bit of combat. We're gonna finally introduce kind of like that more dungeon delving gameplay.
Y'all
you
are
guys-
gonna regret passing on this health
If you guys
thing.
crush,
Yep.
if you crush everything and like everyone's at full health, the next time we play, I just like turn it up a bit. If we play today and you guys are suffering like on the brink of death, you kind of just turn down. Like that's D&D, right? The beauty of having a DM who's actively engaging and wanting the story to move forward is that things can go back and forth, and like there are moments where I'll kill Patrick and there's moments where we won't, right? Like that's kind of just the
Are
way
y'all
of D&D.
familiar with Leroy Jenkins?
Uh,
Let's go.
So I played WoW for like 2 months, and still, whenever I hear Hunter's Mark, I'm like, wow.
Yeah.
But it's not. We're playing D&D. Okay. Are there any other questions or things we want to do, like housekeeping wise?
So
Skipping.
I just did that math, and if everybody can take 310 credits, you can just
You
make a
had
note.
that much money on you?
That's the pot. Yeah.
That's the I've been whenever we did a job, I've been scanning the thing.
I
I would-
should have been paying attention because you could have just stole a shit ton of money from me. That's amazing.
Why would I steal money from the
No.
team?
Listen, what I'm saying, okay, in the other campaigns we play, you have swiped things off of me before. Like, come on. It's happened.
I don't know that I have actually. Swipe anything off you?
Yeah, because I'm so perceptive. But in this
Yeah.
one, I was not paying attention. I had no idea this much money was floating out there. I'm
I had-
impressed.
Yeah.
I'm just paying enough attention that we didn't add extra 750 to our bank. So
Wait, you're saying
Yeah.
310 per person?
Per
yeah.
person.
So
I
there
don't
was
e-
We had
1,200 total.
We had like 1,200. Yeah.
I'm gonna be able to afford that van. So excited.
I would before we switch over, since I have to kind of do fighting style,
Oh,
I
yeah.
would also kind of just like pass that around the room since I have to select this thing that's gonna lock me in long term. And so I know we had kind of discussed it a month ago, but granted it was a month ago, and I don't know about y'all, but I've forgotten almost everything.
100%.
That's not immediately in my notes. So the ranger has like I think it's like 4 like fighting styles that can be optioned. And I think we had discussed like archery being probably the most likely for this one, just because yeah, I was confused before as to, like if I'm gonna be like frontline, like if I want to do like dueling or like two-hand fighting or something like that, I assumed I'd be more like
Yeah.
in the front rather than in the back, and I definitely was leaning more
So I don't know
in
if
the
this
back,
was
but
on the show or if this is something we talked about outside of the show. But Andrew, are you picturing your rogue being up in the fray, like daggers, swords, combat, or were you picturing your rogue being more hidden in the shadows type thing in the background?
I'm not nearly as hidden as Ray. So like I am planning on being. You can hear me now, right? Like I'd switch my microphone.
Yeah.
It's fine. We're not winning a daytime Emmy for this.
Can you hear that?
It's the captivating entertainment y'all have tuned in for.
I will be aggressive in battle, but I will also I fly, right? So
Mhm.
I will be not necessarily
Right.
like in the front of the deal. I'd be kind of above it, but I will be an aggressor in the situation.
Yeah, I think Patrick also kind of barred. If you're going to do any damage, you're going to be up front for most of it, but you're going to try to stay in the back. Correct? Like you're not actually going to try to deal direct damage almost
You
ever.
do know that if I get punched, I die, right?
Right. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Like you don't actually.
We had determined Patrick would be in the middle of the pack last time.
Okay, and then Ray would be towards the back most likely, and then Tracy will be potentially in the middle to the back.
Will, can I ask you something?
Of course.
Zach says don't say numbers if you find a small box or deck of cards. What's that mean?
So there's an item in D&D called the Deck of Many Things, and there's like a rule for DMs like don't use the Deck of Many Things. Like this is an item that was made, don't use it. I was like, that sounds fun. And this was pretty early on in our first campaign. Zach had never played it before, and I was like, you guys find this box of cards, and then the trick is like you say a number and like you draw that many cards. And he said something like 7, like just off the cuff, and he had to draw 7 cards, and he killed his character or sent his character to like another like shadow plane, and he had to re-roll a new character. So the information online where it's like, hey, new DMs, don't use the Deck of Many Things. You probably shouldn't. It's just not fun for most. And my brother has the best luck, like in real life, ever. He went to the Pandora at Disney World the day before it opened because someone saw him in a crowd and was like, "You want to go in?" And he was like, "Sure." Right. So Zach died, and my brother got a castle. Like it was like it put a weird pressure on the group. Cool. So is there anything else that we wanted to chat about, or do you want to try to get back in?
I'm ready to screw some stuff up. Let's go.
Right on. So when we ended our session last time, you guys had just dropped off the medical supplies you were able to get, and Raji, being appreciative, he had gotten a parchment from the Hammers, and what he explained to you was that the Hammers need help with something secret. He has no idea what the mission is, but the promise was that if you guys succeed, you'll get off station. In fact, the Hammers told Raji not to give this to anyone unless they wanted to get off station. Like remaining will no longer be an option no matter what happens. And I believe you guys were all like, yes, it's like our goal is to get off the station. And when I say parchment, like this is actually quite a special thing on this ring, especially because most people are using like tech devices now. And like the idea of like just paper being used for like writing is very special, and engraved in it, like they're using ink and everything. And it's more like runes than just words, right? It's like a very like a heritage thing, something that would have been done 1,000 years ago. So that's like, I would say like that's a good way of knowing like its authenticity, and also maybe its level of importance, right? This is not just another job. This is something that Raji found out, and because you guys helped him with that, the medical supplies, he knew to hold on to it for when you guys got back.
Okay.
So you guys have it. Your options are either to go to an address that Raji gave you. It's in District 11. If we kind of picture the map, and I'll bring it up later. We're just not in Figma yet, but it's like diagonal to the right of where you are currently. So it's just like one big district away. You know the location to go find your contact there, but you also have time now to spend your credits if you want, right? Like there's no huge hurry. But before you kind of go and take on this like new burden, is there anything that you guys want to try to buy? That could be health stims. That could be the weapons that were in the setting document. It could also just be anything that you were thinking about, right? Like we can try to figure out how to like work in any kind of thing like that. But keep in mind, like you guys don't have a ton of money. Like 310, really, in the grand scheme of things, isn't paying rent, right? So, is there anything that people are like, oh, I really want to try to get my hands on this before we leave?
Definitely health.
Is there a box of like a small box of cards, maybe?
No, not today.
Are we? How much is the store on that Notion document?
It is somewhere. I'm currently looking for it.
I want to know how much
It was a
the
month
health
ago.
stems are.
Okay. The health you said?
Yeah, health.
Yeah,
stems.
so the health is like the lowest level. You heal 2d4 plus 2, so a max of 10, and they're 40 credits.
Oh, geez.
So each of you could buy 7? Yeah, 7? Does that math sound up? That's 280, right?
Wait, and you heal how much?
Up to 10, as low as 4.
Oh, that's like the majority of my health. I only have 9 health. So, okay.
I will buy
I'm gonna grab 2 of those.
2 of them.
I'm
Yeah.
gonna
Cool, so-
grab
Same.
2 as well. Yeah.
Cool. So everyone's
Yeah.
just gonna mark 80 off. Can we just? And I know we just did a whole bunch of housekeeping, but it's been a month and my memory is shot. Ray, did you have any of the stuff that you bought last time still on hand? You used your dart, correct? So and then did anyone else buy more of the defensive?
We have two tasers. I think one of them is still in possession, like either Ray or L. I guess I should say.
I think you kept them. I think you kept them and bought them. You bought them.
I guess maybe you used your dart
Yeah.
Mhm.
instead of the taser. Well, I have 2 tasers, and I still have
Okay.
that camera jammer.
Do they sell bath bots at this store?
It's not on the list, but we could say, yeah, for like 20 credits, you can get one of your bath bots if you want.
I will pitch in 3 credits.
If we all pitch in 5, it will be an equal split amongst the group.
I admit no wrongdoing.
Also, I'm going to drop the link in our Slack if I can find it.
Yeah. Drop it in. I have a
yep.
visual displacement device. You were asking like the stuff we still have.
Yes,
Are
please.
you buying it? Are you buying one, Tracy? So I can.
Yeah,
deduct-
100%. I'm
Okay,
gonna buy one.
so
Just out of spite.
only deduct 17 because I'm good for 3 as a peace offering after everything that happened last time.
See, I'm learning. We leave you somewhere and you get soft on us.
Okay,
Silent treatment works on Eris.
It works once. It works once.
Noted for 3 credits worth.
Okay.
Hey, that is 1% of all his money. Like, it's not bad.
I'm not saying this negligible. I'm just saying there's a literal value amount to this.
I have a visual displacement device on me from the last session. It gives me 30 minutes of disadvantage when targeted, and it's a one-time use.
Yeah, and that was something you found on the mission, right? That wasn't something you bought?
Correct. I haven't bought anything.
Yeah.
I have and I also still have the X-ray viewer and the mimetic replicator.
And that's the thing where you could put a non-functioning item, so like a key or a idol or token or something like that in there and replicate it. And then Ray, you started off with a piece of tech. Do you remember what that was?
Yeah, but I don't want to share with the class.
Okay, I don't remember what it was, so
I have it written down. I'll let
It's
you
okay.
know if I
That's-
use it.
sounds like a plan. And Tracy is back to having her original item.
Yes.
Okay, so I just sent you the list of like,
I am
the
buying a
basic stuff.
combat companion.
Cool. Did I explain how that works?
No, but I need it.
Yeah, don't worry. So it's sort of like temporary health. It's a little robot that you can kind of launch next to you, and it will take all the hits up to 20 health points, and then it dies.
You need
It
like 10 of
also-
those.
It also has an AC of 15, which could potentially be better than your AC, which will just help like make you a little bit harder to hit and just
It's a
soak
lot
some
better
hits.
than my AC.
It cannot be repaired though, right? So like over time, you just have to track its health and be like, all right, 20, 15, do.
Okay.
Are you the health stems are how many what's
2d4 plus 2.
2d4 plus 2. Okay.
All right, and I'm going to pick up a single paralysis dart.
I like that you're not holding onto your credits. You're like, I need these now. It's smart.
I'm gonna be
I'm
No
not being
van.
sarcastic.
We
I like
just
it.
chuck that van out the window.
I do think I'll get a paralysis dart as well. It seems like it would do me
Cool.
well.
Yeah, just 5 credits for the
Helpful.
paralysis dart.
You don't know when you're going to need it.
No, makes total sense.
See, now I'm feeling pressured by the group, and I also kind of want one because I have FOMO.
Plus, if they start
What-
darting each other, I don't want to be left out.
It's
Tracy,
like the Spider-Man of paralysis darts.
Tracy, what I would say for you is if you do want a paralysis dart, because in your head you're already thinking you're going to be in the back of the line, it would probably behoove you to buy the 15 credit dart gun. Do you see how I'm upselling her? Like I'm the guy running Fortified Array. Really, this 5
What
credit
you're
thing won't be much help. If you spend 20 credits, it might be helpful in a
So
pinch.
basically, Elle's getting talked up right now.
Well, and so my thought was like, granted, like, yeah, we're going meta moment. We're going into like a fighting scenario, but I was more just thinking about the fact that like there's been a lot of stealth up until now, and given like my
Absolutely.
actual like attributes, like that might come in handy if we're not full out in battle.
Sounds,
That being said,
that makes
I'm
sense.
sure it
Like
could
for
change.
RP moment.
Yeah, I'm like debating because you said like dark gun. And I'm like, I kind of do want that. And so we're realizing that Elle is very materialistic and likes trinkets, a bit crow-like in the collecting of doodads. And I kind of want one. So like, hold on. Where are we at this point? I gotta like do math to make sure I
The
don't
dark gun and
over
paralysis would be
budget
20
myself.
together.
20 together. Okay.
And the dark gun is not single use. You would hold on to that, and if you ever bought more darts, you could keep using it.
And what you're saying is other folks could give me theirs if we really needed it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I
Theory,
I could give you a dart and you could shoot it.
And that's my thought too, is like if we're doing like an interchanging of things, that might be weird. So I do want the gun now. Thank you, upsell person.
Yeah, no problem. Would you also like this chapstick for 60 credits?
No. You keep that. That is single use.
Interspatial chapstick.
That's I used to work at a ski resort, and we would make about the same price. Like we would sell at cost for most things, but there was a 300% up cost on the chapstick because everyone bought it. All right.
Do I need ammo for my pistol or no?
You wouldn't be able to buy it here. The ammo, there is ammo. If we go back to your pistol, this is the kind of thing that I'm just trusting you guys will kind of keep in the back of your heads and keep track of. Do you know which pistol you have?
Station pistol?
Station pistol, you have 12 bullets in the beginning.
Okay.
So you can just keep in mind, like, I don't know, we could just start over. It's been a month. So if you just want to be like, hey, I've got 12 bullets right now. Maybe I got some extra somehow.
Okay.
But yeah, you'd have to go somewhere else and collect it. But it's totally up to you.
Just checking.
Yeah, this because fortified array is non-lethal weapons, right?
Mm-hmm. It's like mostly defensive. And he was the one that you guys brought the medic stuff to. So you can tell like he's way more about like trying to keep peace and keep people alive.
Why didn't we get a deal then?
Because no one asked.
It would be very of my character to sit in the back and be like, we should have got a deal.
Elsa's just like, and I would like this, and I would like this, and I would like this, and I was like, oh, what was that? And just like throwing money around, apparently with no.
I'm just sitting in the back, arms crossed, shaking my head, watching this go down. Like, okay. More shit to carry.
Dads. Yeah, I have like a basket. Like,
we're literally leaving the ship, and y'all are collecting more shit to carry.
I'm about to use this paralysis dart.
Right on you right now.
We talked about what Elle's apartment looks like, right? You all remember what Elle's apartment was,
it's like a hoarder, right?
It was Howl's Moving Castle.
That's right.
That's what I thought.
Again, this tracks.
Yeah.
No, this is all in character. We're doing great. All right. Are you guys all set?
Ready.
Everyone's pockets emptied, backpacks full.
I do have a question, because this is not something I've had to keep track of, like, and I'm probably not doing a great job of tracking on my character sheet. How do we figure out like what our actual like health is, like our total hit points? Like you're saying that like Sleazel is 10. Like where is that? How do I find it? What
in
is
your
mine?
sheet? It should be near the center in the top like quarter of the page. It should say total, and then there should be a space underneath it, which is just a block where you could like keep track of it. And then there's another one called temp. Right now you should have 0 temp. Your total is
your hit point maximum was what they call it.
Thank you. I don't have this sheet in front of me.
Yeah.
So here's the thing: is like I've either not been tracking this properly, or Sleazel and I are right up there with each other because I currently have 11 marked down here. So did I not leveled up from level 2?
Yours for level 2.
Yeah, you should have rolled and added additional hit points, or I guess you can either roll or take the average, right, Will?
It was right at the end.
Okay, so what's your constitution, Tracy?
Hold on, I want to like check my notes from last.
It's okay. I've got the numbers in front of me.
Okay.
What's your prostitution?
Is it another word I say weird?
Will tracking XP plus 5 to total hit die, and that's it.
Okay.
So what did you ask?
5 might be the number we're looking for later. So what's your constitution modifier? It's the small number. 1?
Constitution modifier. Yeah, it's +1.
Cool. So you start off with 11 health. So that is level 1 health. At The next level, you can either add a flat 6 or you roll a d10 plus your constitution modifier. So you either roll a 10-sided dice and add 1, or you just choose 6.
Was that the 5?
It could be the
Remember
5.
that you wrote down?
You know, I think I remember rolling poorly.
It's probably the 5. Because
I want to say because you said something like, well, that was close to what you would have had anyway.
Yeah,
so
so
it wasn't.
so up yours
Okay.
to 16.
Got it. I'm so glad we did this.
You're
'cause
like
I wouldn't have
rolling
died.
in it. I guess
Ranger
I have
should
15.
have good health, yeah.
I guess
But
I have 15.
Andrew, what's yours at?
15.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Ray?
18. I rolled well.
She
Ooh.
did. She did. I remember this.
Ray.
I remember rolling well. I was
And
excited.
Sleazel decided to be democratic with his health.
Don't
And that's why.
worry about it.
I don't know if it's
I've got
fair or
Mick
not.
Jagger to protect me.
I blame Jedi 100% for Patrick's
You
character.
should.
I don't know if that's
One-
fair,
You should have.
It's
but that's
fine.
where we're at. All right. So let's yeah, it was 45 minutes. We're doing great. Let's keep just rolling on. So you guys are going over to District 11. And again, we don't have Figma up. We'll bring it up when we start doing things.
District 11. Hunger Games.
Oh.
Come on, people.
I was like, 2.
It's like, is it a pause?
You have something to say? You
and
interrupted.
you guys start approaching the address that Raji gave you. He probably marked it on your devices. Those IDs kind of act like a smartphone, right? So they can do calls, they'll do maps, they kind of do all those little things that you need. And over there, you do see a dwarf standing alone in the biggest, like bulky, heavy armor. And even from here, you can tell like his face is scar ridden, and he's got a giant red beard that's like overlapping on his armor and like goes down towards his belt. Like over his shoulder, he's got like a large rifle kind of like draped underneath his beard. And by his side, there's a substantial hammer hanging from his belt. And in the crowd, there's no way you would mistake him as anything other than our ring's police force, the Hammers.
This is our first encounter with the Hammers, yeah?
Yeah, I think we've like talked a little bit about them,
Right.
but I don't think we've had any reason to ever kind of get in their way or interact with them. So
Is the mimetic replicator a one-time use, or can I continue to use it?
yeah, it's a one-time use.
Okay.
As we're walking up, I want to nudge Elle and just ask, like, how you feeling about this?
I'll be honest. I really want to do a perception check on what else is underneath his beard.
You gave me a roll.
Yay! Let's do it. Okay, hold on. Where's
Why not?
is it D20? Yeah.
Yeah, and then you're gonna
Okay.
add your perception.
Okay.
Had a lot of things in the
5.
beard.
The 5, but my perception is good, so it's 10 total.
Yeah, so you don't see anything under his beard, but you do see the one other thing that I forgot to mention, which in his like left hand is a tablet, and it's like kind of like your ID cards, but much larger.
What are they would be composed of similar material to like tablets that we're familiar with?
Yeah, or yours are more like just a sheet of glass with 2 metal caps on either end. So when off, you can see right through it. His would probably be more like an iPad-esque thing. It's definitely more substantial.
Okay, and I'm sorry, are we trying to maybe I'm not fully aware of
No,
what's
don't
on
worry.
this parchment, but is this person important to us?
You would assume he's the one who you guys are looking for. He's probably the one who gave Raji this parchment that was like, go to this address for a job. And Raji didn't have any information other than like, go to this address.
Oh, okay. So we think that he's giving us.
He's
like,
the
we
quest
need to talk-
giver.
Okay, so I'm gonna approach him and compliment his hammer.
Yeah. And he looks kind of down over his beard. And he's not much taller than you, but you're a gnome, correct?
I am very
Yes,
tiny.
I'm
I'm a rock gnome.
Yeah, so you're probably under 2 foot. Even a dwarf is almost twice your size. And if we're talking about weight, it could be 6-8 times your size.
Yeah.
And he's like,
I would like to answer the question. Where it's like, after I perception check the beard,
yeah.
I lean over and I'm like, I'm not a big fan of cops. Like, just to put that out into the space.
Yeah,
Same.
and I
Like,
Heavy thing.
ACAB, just a little bit.
would say the
To
one
him?
yeah, you're gonna
No,
say it to me,
no,
right?
we're just RPing.
I would say the one other thing that I could have mentioned is you remember how you guys like when you left the heist, you were being bumped into and there's people everywhere. you can see like around him, people are staying away, right?
Oh.
Your opinion of the hammers, there might be some who respect them, but there's others who just like will not even get close to in their way.
Yeah.
So you kind of break through into like the open area and you kind of appear and he goes, thanks you little one.
Yeah, and then I go, I'm Sleazel, and this is Mick Jagger, because my combat buddy's with me. And I say, I've been looking for you.
Yeah, and he goes, and his like jovial return gets a little more serious, and he's like, "Why?"
I got a parchment. Well, I don't. They do, but we have a parchment.
Yeah, and he like takes his hand from off his rifle and kind of puts it out, looking to see what you're talking about.
And I just give him a low 5.
Do I have it?
You do.
I
have it?
have
Okay.
to you end up with everything.
Dude, he swoops in every time there's something to have. So when
Like a
Patrick
bird.
said that Andrew steals shit, I'm like, I believe it.
I play every character different, just so we're clear.
It's not stealing; it's just
I,
taking.
I will. I'll step forward. Kind of reluctantly. I'm not super thrilled with talking to the cops.
Sure.
But I'll step in and I'll say we were given this by I believe a shared friend, and I hand him the parchment.
Yeah, and he looks at it and he goes, I don't know who gave this to you, but we are looking for help. And he kind of folds it up and puts it back into like one of his pockets. And he goes, have they told you what you're here for?
No, that dude's an idiot.
And he's like, I need you to understand. Once you take on this job, there's no staying on this ring. There's no staying on this station. Like, this is where you will have a ticket off of this no matter what happens.
Good, let's go.
because we cannot stay there any longer, and so like we must.
Yeah.
Or is that
You will be
we're gonna
forced
make
off
some
station.
shit that we are ejected from that space.
Yeah.
Noted.
Yeah,
Do we want to be off the station permanently? Or I guess is
Perma ban from Lathander's.
Yeah, and
rank?
you can like ask that, and he's like, you will never be allowed on station ring 4. Like, this will be a banned station for you, and your record of being on the station ever will start being expunged. So if you need to return, you'll be able to come back to the 6th ring or 7th ring or 6th ring, which is that main kind of terminal. It's like the tourist ring. Like, you'll be able to come to that, but your privileges out of that will be taken away.
Oh, I
But
feel
But
like
not just that,
So what
they're
is the-
going to erase our identities.
I feel
thus
like
far.
Elle is really enjoying this information.
I am
Right.
suddenly very interested in this.
As would Aslan, right? Because
Yeah.
So my question is, for such a hefty risk, what's the reward here? What's the price that we're looking at?
Yeah, and he goes, we're not expecting you to find your own way off the station. We're gonna have tickets. We're gonna like align everything up, and we'll get you off station, get you set up somewhere else. Like, this is the payment is a chance to restart. And he goes, whoever gave you this should have said it's only for people who like need to get off this station or off this ring specifically.
Where are we ending up?
So I would step back. I'd say, okay, can we have just a moment? I'd step back and just ask the group, like, is this something that we're ready to do right now? Is this the? Because I imagine if we turn down this job right now, we can go get another job doing something that's maybe less risk. Or is this what we want to accomplish? Like, I thought that we were all trying to function on the space station, at least for a time. But if we're trying to literally get off right now, then I'm asking you guys what your thoughts are.
Yeah, my goal is the fastest way off. I lost my last ship, so this is what I've been aiming for.
My band hasn't gone anywhere in years. I'm 52 years old. Something's got to change for me.
Okay. And you're good with that too, Elle?
I am highly interested. I want to know exactly the criteria, like the job we're pulling, that we are going to be permabanned from this station. Because I do have business I would like to finish, but do not need to be finished in the next decade or so. So I'm I'm interested, but I definitely want to know how bad this is gonna get for us before I sign up.
I agree. So
And
I would
where
say-
are we ending up? Like, where are they?
Yeah, do we get to
sending us?
decide, or are they ejecting us to the dead planet down there?
All right, so I come back up to the hammer, and what's your name?
It's Sergeant Dendrick Oakbelly.
All right, Mr. Oakbelly. Sergeant Oakbelly. I imagine you've earned your rank. Sergeant Oakbelly. We want to know a little bit more details about what this entails. This is a pretty hefty. This is a pretty hefty deal. So
Can
like,
we
what?
move this off the street?
Yeah.
Yeah, and he goes, "There's no need. That's a completely understandable request, but I can't give it to you. This is either you take it or I need you to leave."
Can I have your hammer?
Did we read the parchment?
No, and that's like the most serious he's got, and he's like, "Absolutely not."
Did we read the parchment before we just handed it to this dude?
Yeah, and all it was just explaining kind of like what I said before. It was just like there's a mission that the Hammers are recruiting for, but no one will be allowed to stay on station for participating in it.
It's sounding very like Mando getting no fucking info with the little not giving you information, go find this thing. Okay, I'm in.
Well,
As someone who already distrusts the cops, I don't like that he took the thing that would tie us to
No,
him.
I
and
don't
like
either.
that this is a permaban burn for us as a group and that we don't know any details before logging in. So I'm highly sus. Like, I'm not willing to like walk on this, but I'm like very much like, I don't like or trust you and what you're doing, but I'm mildly interested in what you're saying.
What if we were to kill this cop? What does that do for us?
What I
We
would
die?
say, like on a metal, like you couldn't, right? Like being your-
Level 2.
DM Will, I don't know that that's your choice in this moment.
Well, no. So what I'm like, this would be a clear thing, right? It'd be like me going up against a cop who's got a gun and being like, probably won't be able to do much here. Doesn't mean you don't think Patrick or Sleazel might not, but as like a general vibe, like that's why the big ring around, right? Like these people are taken extraordinarily seriously.
Armor.
Here would be my one, literally my only nod toward doing this is if we can be expunged, then if we are expunged, then there's no reason we couldn't come back if there's no record of us. So like a permaband is only in the sense that we get off of this planet or get off the station. If we want to come back, if there's no record of us, we should be able to make that happen.
Sleazel can't come back, but like Dr. Teasel can, you know.
Yeah.
Exactly where I went with this. We're like, I know it's hard. I know the IDs are linked, but you can't tell me that I can't like
Right.
jack
Yeah.
someone's stuff and try to like hack it or something. Like it'll take effort. But yeah, if we're actually, that's why I was interested. Like, if we are wiped, I'm like, I'm actually very
Then it
interested.
gives us a
in
bit
this.
of a fresh start. I'm a smuggler too, so I would recognize that you are able to cloak signals, you are able to cloak things, and yeah, I'm okay with
I'm
this. Like,
in.
if you guys are
Let's
good.
do this thing.
All right,
And I will pick up Sleazel by the back of his thing, nod at the other two and the cop, and like, let's go.
Can I ask about, okay,
Listen.
cop, where'd you get that hammer from?
And Sleazel could totally be saying that as I'm holding him, and he's still facing the
He's, like,
cop,
over
talking
the-
to him. Yeah.
Yeah, and he explains how all hammers are given this, and it's like a sign of Moradin.
Wait, a
Does
guy
he look
named
like
Moradin
Gimli?
gave it to you?
Cool. Are we gonna
Why don't you
go
give me
or
a
what?
Is
history
the door
check,
opening?
Patrick?
Are we walking?
We're like, look at this guy, like,
This
uh-huh.
makes this even better if he's like yelling it back toward the guy as he's talking.
My history is 6.
6 total.
Yeah.
Yeah, you totally think it's just a guy named Moradin. You're like, okay.
I'll go find Moradin.
I want one.
So you
That's
guys
great.
are
Am I picturing Gimli? Like, is that a fair?
but rougher.
Or rougher
Super
than
messed
Gimli?
up.
Okay.
way like giant scars down his face. Like this man has spent his entire life in combat, doing kind of in like the seedier parts of the fourth ring.
So in no way would Sleazel pull off killing him ever, ever, ever.
Cecil might. I mean, Cecil, do you want to give down to? Yeah, who knows? So,
Cool.
and
So we're like
he's-
walking in the door. Are they letting us in?
There is no door. He's just kind of out on like the corner next to a building.
Are we
All right,
following him somewhere?
let's do this. Like
Yeah.
we're in. So
We're
let's,
following. We're going.
So as you say that, like he
Like, so
pulls
are
up his
you.
tablet, and you see him kind of like swipe across it, and over the city, the district 11, you can see like a lot of little dots, like marking locations all over the map. And he goes, "Now's the last chance."
Yeah, we're in.
Boop.
Go.
No.
You're gonna erase me right now?
No, and then
Like,
he
Elle is like like emoting the most excitement they have ever seen on his face. Like it's not a lot, it's not high level, but it's just like
yeah, there's a little bit of
Eyebrows
like a
have
buzz
raised.
to the body. You're like,
Mhm.
he like swipes again and then clicks another button, and all throughout ring 11, all through District 11, you hear sirens start going off. And as you guys like turn around, we had talked about this previously, but between the guard towers, these big giant walls start closing in District 11, and you can see like some people are trying to get out. Others are trying to get in, and as like gets closer and closer, there's like just a few last people like kind of sliding their bodies through these giant 30-foot to like floor to ceiling big bay doors. And as they close, he's like, "All right, we're in." And he like brings it back.
We were
to
already
the,
in, sir.
he brings it back to the tablet with all the little dots on it. He goes, "You guys are one recon group of about a dozen that we've contracted for this. You will all be removed from the ship once this is complete."
collectively? Like together?
That's the goal. And he goes, "What we need you to do is gather intel, clear the scourge, and earn your way off the station." Then he goes to explain to you how Morden, and for most of you guys, this would be common knowledge. For Patrick, it wasn't. Morden is a dwarven god, and it's the kind of the god that what's his name, Declan Broadstone worships, and he's the mayor, kind of governor of this ring. And even though gangs are illegal, the Hammers are part of Morden's gang, right? So it's like this really weird, like people are just keep their mouths closed because this gang has kept this ring at peace for so long. But it's still
That's
like
why you don't trust cops.
a lot of people, right, have that attitude of like, we don't like any gods, we don't want anyone affiliated with gods. And what he starts to explain to you is that somehow another gang has infiltrated the fourth ring. And it's a gang none of us are familiar with. No one knows the affiliation. We've only heard whispers of the god's name, and we can't have anyone this ring know. And that's why everyone who's being told this information at this moment is going to be escorted off this ring. This can't be information you get let out. And he points around. He's like, all the people in this district can't know. So it's as important for you to keep this a secret as get this job done.
How much did the hammer cost?
He's like, "Boy, it's going to cost you a life real soon." Then he like zooms in on the tablet and he goes, "You guys have been assigned to this location." And he like highlights one building and he goes, I don't know personally why this building has been called out, but this is the one that you've been assigned to checking out and looking into. He goes, "I can't join you. I'm going to be kind of floating in the district." You can tell he's kind of the one organizing this whole thing. But he does say, like, "I do have things that I can give you to help. So let me find those things." Okay, first, he loads his contact information onto all your devices. He's like, "If anything happens, you can reach me this way." Then he pulls out of his pocket what you can tell instantly are more pieces of parchment. But these pieces of parchment are more like a ragged cotton cloth type thing, like a really nice, like fine handmade paper. And where black ink was signed on the parchment you got last time, this one's emboldened with just gold runes. And on the top, it's like attached to a piece of metal that is like a badged on. And he gives each of these to you, and he goes, "Just put these on. No one will question you. Like this is like a badge given from Declan Broadstone. This will get you wherever you need to go."
And this
And
is a physical item. This isn't like creds on your
No, right. And I think you can kind of see like potentially because they're a gang, or potentially just because it's the Morden's specific gang, they really value these kind of physical, temperate things.
Aesthetics.
Aesthetics. So you guys get these kind of worn gold embossed parchment papers that kind of attach like they would a military medal of sorts, that kind of thing. And then he's got one device that he's going to hand to someone. Does anyone put out their hand?
I'm gonna snatch
Let
it
me
before
guess.
Eris does.
Oh.
Yeah, I was going to say, Andrew's like, can I get it?
I love how this is a thing.
I don't want
He'll get it.
additional
He'll
items.
get it later.
He will,
and what he
don't
gives
worry.
you, I'm going to like real
I'm gonna get
briefly
that
explain
off.
what it looks like, and then you guys can kind of just imagine whatever you want. It's a hand-sized metal rectangle. On the top, there is a small orb of glass, and all around it are little sensors. So on every other face, there's sensors, including the bottom, everywhere. And he's like, if you place this in a room, it will start scanning for past activity.
So it's an orb of glass, like a sphere?
Like a half dome, yeah.
You said
Does it
past
project it?
activity?
Yeah.
Right. Does it, like show you what happened?
Yeah.
Like
He goes, this
in
might come in
time?
handy.
Like Minority Report.
I
I
don't know.
will
Minority
never give
Report, I
this
can't
up,
remember.
Eris. It is mine now.
I don't want
The
it.
crow
I don't-
has a
I
shiny
don't-
item.
I don't want items.
That's
I'm
exactly
I'm a
what someone
rogue.
that wanted items would say, Eris.
Fine. I want the things that are easy for me to tap. Stuff that can be loaded onto my device.
Do
Not
you
additional
immediately
items
tap
for
the orb with your tablet?
Yeah.
I look at this. I look at the hammer. And I'm like, I get to keep this when we get ejected from the station, right?
He's like, I have no play in what you guys get to keep. Your names, your stuff, like that's not any of my responsibility.
It does kind of feel like you're middle management.
I
100%.
will take that as permission.
Yeah, and there
did
might have
not
been
say no.
moments where like you also know, because he knows all this information, he also has to leave. Like this is everyone involved. But he's very
Like,
excited
we're
about it. Like he's
blacklisted.
ready to get off off the
Mm.
ship. Whew. Yeah,
Really bored. He's got like
I almost caught it, but it was about 3
Clip
seconds too late. So yeah,
Aren't we all? Let's do it.
so yeah, he shows you on your map again, like that house that you guys are supposed to go to. He goes, I think this is all the stuff that I can provide you. I need to check on the other groups to make sure their stuff is going well. Do you guys have any questions before we
Do
get
you
this
have
started?
what's in the house?
We don't know. Like there's a ton of houses, and he shows you the map again. He's like, these are all the things that we just marked. None of us have like been there yet.
How much do we get paid for this?
I am sure they will give you a stipend to like get you set up off ship.
What's the food?
Some
like?
of our team members are trigger happy. Is there a problem with bodies for this one?
And he goes, once you get into that house, like whatever needs to be done.
You've said enough.
Oh, we're cops now.
And
Oh,
and
yeah,
I
you
think
got
you would kind of get the idea with the parchment thing.
The
Like, that is-
deputized. We've been deputized.
Yeah, I would never have thought of that. But yes, very much so. Like you've been deputized.
You literally thought of all this.
Is that different than our credentialing badge?
What was that?
Is that different than our credentialing badge?
What's the credentialing badge?
The thing you said that we were given that gave us
No.
like
No, that's what we're talking about now.
so that is the same thing as our credentialing badge. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm gonna just
I'm
put
just
that
I'm
like
keeping
under
track,
my layers.
keeping track of my items, and I just want
Yeah.
to make sure I don't have like an additional.
Nope. So for everyone other than Tracy, the only thing you got was like that badge, and his contact information that if you for some reason need to
Oh.
reach out. And then Tracy got the scanner.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Cool. So
All right, let's do this.
and for this isn't so much for Andrew and Patrick, but because Ray and Tracy, you're fairly new to D&D as a player. So far, a lot of things we've been playing have been very like mini game focused, right? Like we were checking off the little. That's not traditional D&D. I think it's a fun way to introduce and play. Now you won't know. Like I need to get this many successes. Like it'll be up to you to be like, I want to do this. I want to do that. I will not be just like kind of telling you everything in a room. Like if you want to know what's in a room, you're gonna have to go looking for it. Does that make
Yeah.
sense for everybody?
That's what I'm waiting for.
All right. So
Ready.
Figma time.
let's-
Or pee this shit.
well, we'll get to Figma once you guys get to, I mean, we could move to Figma now if you guys would like.
You want to?
I gave you the, yeah.
I don't
let's
know,
move to
DM.
Figma.
Do you want us to?
Yeah, you know, right now it's just blank, so that'll be great.
Let's go to Figma.
Just an open.
Because I'm
And
gonna
there's-
take my pants off.
So I moved your tokens off to the side so you guys can go grab those when we need them. But everything should look familiar outside of normal.
If someone could
Um,
take care of all my tokens, that'd be great. Thank you.
We do it anyway.
Thank you.
Don't worry, I'll be grabbing you by my talons and dragging you with me anyway.
And I pick you up half the time at this point anyways. Yeah, you're just carried everywhere.
I'm gonna ride on top
Okay.
of Mick Jagger everywhere.
So as you guys approach, it looks very similar to all the other residential homes you've seen. Very similar to the lizard folk you had already gone into their house. I believe we were in one other sort of residential home. I can't remember. But it's just all metal surfaces with a metal door in the front. Potentially like just a little light kind of hanging over that door.
And this is another block of apartments.
Yeah. So everything, actually, because we're in Figma, I can show you guys now. If I go to
And how tall is it?
So everything is 30 foot. And as you can see through just like this map, everything is very cookie cutter. So like every district is almost identical in its form. So you started in 10 at that letter A, and you kind of crossed over to 11. And then you can see those Z's are the guard towers, and how there's like a little kind of block out of each guard tower and each block of buildings. Those are where the doors all closed in. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4 gates that like close in District 11. Does that kind of make sense for everybody?
So we need to get to District 11, but it's gated off right now.
No, you're in it. You're in
Oh,
it. You're
wait.
trapped
We're locked
inside it.
Good. That's what we wanted.
We're escape rooming this one.
So I didn't pick a spot. You're just like but you're in a big grid of buildings like that, right? And almost all of them go to 30. Some similar to the medical center will have like little ledges, right? They're not all just rectangle blocks, but for the most part, they go floor to ceiling, and then some little kind of patio areas.
Great. And typically when it goes floor to ceiling, that's still just one unit. It just has multiple floors, or does that tend to be multiple units stacked?
Almost always multiple units stacked. Even some floors will be split up between multiple units.
Okay, great. So here's the thing first, before we move on this, do we want to wear these stupid badges? Like, I don't know what these badges are saying about us. Like, maybe...
I've got mine like tucked under all of my layers, so it's kind of like I can show it if I need to, but I am not showing that thing out.
Yeah, I'm
not like wearing it loud and proud. It's definitely like you flip open the badge, right? Like as a cop, like undercover one, you're like flip flop, like that kind of scenario.
It's like wearing the
I'll have mine on
band's...
the inside of my cloak, like
Yeah.
right there, so I can.
It's like
Flash
wearing
people.
the band's logo. Like you don't do that. So like, fucking not doing that. That's going in my pocket.
Yeah. So none of us are like overt in the deputization.
I think that makes total sense.
I'll end up. Well, if we need to, I'll pin
Although-
mine on Mick.
I could totally see Sleazel sticking it right on him, like when a little kid would get those airplane wings.
Nah, he's cooler than
Like
that.
does Liesel have like a jean jacket with a bunch of patches? Because it could just blend right in, depending on what the garb
It'd
actually
be a
is.
jean vest. It'd be a jean vest.
Vest.
would
You're
be.
right. It is a vest.
Yeah, think of like Sleazel as the guy that shows up to like a Metallica concert. That's
But wearing a Kenny Loggins shirt.
That's the personal decor, the body decor. So here's the thing. I'm thinking that maybe we should go in through the top. If we have the ability to use height to our advantage and we know the building we need to go into, I don't think we go in through the front door.
I imagine we're just like hanging out, grabbing a drink, because we just finished that last thing. So let's grab some food and sit and talk about this like near the building.
Is this like
I have a shiny orb that sees into the past. So I'm just saying that, like, if we have an address, we have a block of things, and there's one entrance, like, at the very least, like, we don't even have to bother. Well, we don't have to bother, but like, there's recon just the checking that out. How like overt?
seeing
We don't
who
even
went
know
in
at this
and-
point.
in and out of the front door is what you're saying. But
Yeah,
what's the
like, I think
likelihood
that
you get
there's a-
spotted if you throw that in the front door? We don't know what it does.
And like, I don't know if it's like techno colored, like beep boop beeps, or if
Yeah.
it's just like it does the like hologram projection. But I just want to remind y'all, I have a not magic but very powerful orb that sees into the past. So just to throw that out there,
we
as
almost
we're
need to like
getting
find a broom closet to try it in and see what it does. Because I don't want if it's like super loud and like makes a bunch of noises or shit, like we would like to know what we're getting into.
Do we know if it has more than one use? Because what happens if you use it in a broom closet and then that was your one use?
That's it.
Based on what I understood, it works in perpetuity.
Okay.
I thought you meant like.
Yeah, that's how I understood it
If
as
there's
well.
some
Could you
weird
use it to,
abusive
like-
item, we'll do a daily use thing, like how many uses
Okay.
per day. But for now, like
Okay.
whatever.
Just want to make
Yeah.
sure.
I thought you meant like
Because
multi-purpose.
we would totally
like
waste it in
bookend.
a broom closet.
But so let me ask this question for clarification. We like the action has started. Like the gates closed. Like there's a little bit of panic and pandemonium happening. We're not going and sitting to chat about this. We are like the action has. like,
Okay, I thought it was.
the
chilled out
intention
again.
is like we need to move now because there's stuff going on.
Yeah.
And it's definitely
I mean,
you
like,
know
we
other groups
could.
are already moving.
And I'm feeling
Okay,
very
okay, okay.
competitive. So I'm also like super amped up. Like Elle is super amped up. Just like, I have a pretty new object. I want to beat these other teams, and let's go. So
I'll
like,
say
I'm
this-
definitely not like wanting to sit still. I'm
Okay,
like,
so
literally,
the
like,
the
fidgeting
thing
a bit.
hasn't reopened. Like chaos didn't chill out. It's still in this weird.
Everything's closed, and
We're in a
Okay,
gang
okay.
war
for the
sweep.
foreseeable future, this thing,
Gotcha.
no
All
one's
right.
coming in or out.
Totally different situation.
This
for
is
sure.
a gang war, and we're
Okay.
sweeping for this other gang to try and literally like oust and or identify this other like group in our sector.
To do
Like,
whatever it takes.
Yeah.
To
Can,
do
Alright.
whatever it takes.
can
Let's go
Mick
then.
Jagger shoot a paralysis dart? I've got an idea. I think Mick Jagger, I'm going to put my badge on him. I'm going to just tape a paralysis dart to the front of him.
Who's Mick Jagger?
That's my combat
it's his
companion because Mick
companion.
Jagger never dies.
Sorry. Yes. Okay. Good. I'm caught up now.
Okay, so what I'm thinking
What's
is
going on?
we go to the roof, but then we send Mick Jagger by himself to just the front door. And then if someone opens it, I just fucking ram them with Mick Jagger and the paralysis dart just goes into him, whoever it is.
I think we should get points for how creatively we're using these darts.
All over here.
I have not grown fond of him yet because I've only had him for like probably 30 minutes now.
See, you say that, but you remember what happened to my bath bot. It hurts when
And
they
this
go
could
away.
save your life.
But
You don't realize until it's gone.
I'm confident he'll live. The point is, I don't mind making a distraction with Mick, but I do think we should go in through the roof. I think that's our best bet is to go in through height.
If
height.
we've caught up to the building at this point, is there any way that I could do some check and like sweep and see if there's like egress anywhere, windows, like doors?
Sure.
What
Give
are
me
we
an
looking at?
investigation check.
Can I piggyback off of her check, or do I need to check my own?
You can give her help.
Plus what?
I'll help her.
You should have an investigation, I think, on a character sheet.
Yeah,
Mhm.
Oh,
I
plus 2.
I really
so
need to get one of these in
14.
front of me.
I did a 13 add to hers.
Yeah. So what you guys both see, I think, pretty simultaneously is this is one unit with units on either side. There's a single door, no windows, with a light on top of the door, kind of lighting in front. As you look up, there's also like a little kind of like patio-ish air thing, like a little balcony maybe with another door. And as you go up, there's like a third one, and they have metal ladders kind of all the way down.
For clarification, do we only know the block of the buildings, or do we know the specific unit we're going for?
You know the specific unit.
So on that note, we could go into one of the next door units and go through the wall.
That's what I was thinking. Well, maybe
I
not
love
the
how we
wall,
make
but I
this
wanted to.
so much harder for ourselves than it needs to be.
I don't know that you can go through the wall because we've been in these
Steel.
buildings before.
They're
Yeah.
metal.
But
You'd have to do
it's
some work,
steel.
but I mean,
They
anything
had
can be done.
modified theirs, although these could have modified as well.
I
And
don't
is
know
there
if we
any
go
getting
through
around the
wall.
back?
We could just go through the door.
There would be other additional units in the back.
I'm saying
There's
I
not
don't
really
mind
a
sending
back
Mick
to
Jagger
it.
in.
It's just
Well, okay, why don't we do this? Like here's my recommendation. We can send little Mickey up to the front door at the bottom, but we should be up and then going through the top floor door.
I agree.
Yes.
I was gonna start going up a ladder.
So I can fly you up.
I don't think you
Sleagle.
can
Hop on.
fly me up.
And I just fly you up.
You just took
There's
me.
Oh, Sleazel.
Just took you.
Okay, okay.
Okay,
And
I
I'm
need-
going up the ladder.
Before you take me,
Yeah.
I would like to tell Mick I love him. 1 second.
I thought you weren't attached.
I don't know. I don't know how I feel
He's
yet.
getting
It's,
there.
it's
He's
in a
getting there.
weird time right now, but Mick.
I told you.
You
I
can
told
take
you.
you can take the ladder then if you want.
No,
So
I'm gonna.
going-
I attach my paralysis dart to the front of Mick, and then I'm just
Then
gonna
we
give him a
head
little
out.
pat on the head, and just perfect, and just let him know that I'm proud of him, and whatever happens, I'm coming back for him.
Yeah, and with confidence, he turns towards the door.
Yeah, and now he's gonna just ram the door, and we're gonna fly up.
Yeah, so we're like heading up ladders to the top to, I assume, the like fire escape like entry
Yes.
point, window, door, whatever. Okay.
Door, yeah. So are you guys all in like the second balcony?
I'm just gonna go
As
straight up.
high as we
I'm
can
just gonna go
get.
straight up to floor 3.
Okay, so we have 1 on 3,
No, no,
Patches
no,
on
I've-
3,
Yeah, I've got Sleazel with
I'm
me.
on 3 with him. Yeah.
and then
I can
Al,
stay on 2.
Yeah, I'm gonna stay in
and-
If
two.
there's a balcony, we can kind of split, so we're half and half.
Mhm.
Okay, so Patrick, is the companion bot acting first, or what? I think I'm a little lost on what you guys are all
This
planning on
is
doing
gonna
right
be
now.
a
but-
simultaneous action because we think that's the best way to like catch people off guard. So as the bot hits the door, I'm not saying we're
Okay.
gonna be loud, but we're gonna start going in the top as well.
Well,
Now,
we can pick the locks. Aslan and I both can pick
Yeah.
locks and get the doors
so
open.
the robot
We
is
should
gonna
probably
like
do like a check on that though, right? To make sure the like doors are locked.
We're gonna
that
find
picking
out.
Needs.
That's true.
the robot is gonna.
Should we do that first?
So,
before
yeah,
the robot.
Well,
I
it's,
think
it's
that was my-
happening. It like it's.
It's
I just
it all
left
went
the
in action.
robot. The robot is just doing what it's told to do. So the robot is gonna go into the door. That is gonna
Okay,
alert
well,
people
I'm
that
rolling
someone's
to-
at the
to pick
door.
the lock.
So the robot downstairs is going to kind of knock on the door, is what you're saying.
Yes.
Cool. So you
I'm
see
gonna
that
watch.
potentially,
to see
because
what
it really doesn't
happens.
have any arms, you see it just kind of like bump up against the door.
So
Are other people trying to? Both the doors are locked on second and third floor.
I'm
okay,
trying to
so
pick the lock.
on my level, yeah. So if Elle's looking over and kind of watching what's happening, I'm dealing
Yeah.
with the door. And can I check for traps?
Sure.
Like, or well, I don't know what the
Probably investigation. Again.
Investigation.
what
It's a
traps would
gang
be in this,
war.
but
We
Yeah.
should try. We should check.
that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't know if
It's
there's
a
like
gang war.
lasers or crazy shit.
I'm just picking locks.
Okay, can you give me a sleight of hand? check?
19.
Yeah, there's no locks. It's just a locked door.
Okay.
Residential, like at home.
No
I
traps.
rolled
Okay.
a
Right.
14 for pick and lock.
Yeah, plenty. It's like easy, right? It's just like a low grade residential door, and you pop both of them, and the doors don't open, right? They're still still closed, but unlocked.
I'm
But
gonna
there's
give
another
a
guy.
silent air high five and then let you lead
And
the way.
so, what was for picking lock? What do I do for?
Sleight of hand.
Okay.
And then you would add your proficiency bonus, and I think that's it. That comes with your thieves' tools.
Oh, I get a proficiency bonus to my sleight of hand.
Yeah, so you would get sleight of hand.
Oh,
You would get your
shit.
d20. You would add your sleight of hand, and then you would add your proficiency bonus. I believe we can look it up later, but I believe that's how thieves' tools helps you.
21.
That's awesome.
Mm.
Yeah, I mean, just pop.
All right.
Like
I'm
being
gonna-
You hear the lock disintegrate as your tools
Yeah.
start carving through it.
I would lean back over and like look down at the two below us and like maybe just give like a countdown, and I'm gonna try
I'm
Challenge.
creepy.
I'm gonna try to slowly make my way in stealth, not
I'm
barging.
still watching.
And
Like,
I'm
my-
just peeking.
Yeah,
I'm
so-
not going in yet.
Like I'm
gonna-
looking
gonna-
down at where the robot is, and then like hoping that the other two folks are like reconning inside the door. So I'm like kind of like
And I'm just
triangulating.
checking in with Elle and kind of like looking inside and to her.
Let's go, Mick Jagger. What's
Oh,
going
man.
on?
Can I check inside? Like, are the lights on? Are the lights off? What am I seeing?
So
inside
Ray,
the
you're
door?
on second floor,
Yes.
and the door is just kind of cracked open.
I'm just like peeking.
Yeah.
in.
So the immediate like kind of entrance way is like some sort of kind of small living room, and all the lights are off. But in the back, you can hear what you would assume is a kitchen, and the lights are on, and people cooking.
Okay, I'm gonna slowly close the door. And turn to Elle and I hear people. They're close.
I rolled a stealth check of 24. I'm gonna actually go in.
And I'm gonna ready my energy dagger.
Immediately as you open the third floor door, you just open the door, and there's just a couple watching TV on a couch, like in the same kind of living room space, and they're both like freaked out, right? They might not see you at first, but they see the door opening like into their room, and the rooms aren't that big; like it'd be impossible for them not to see.
Okay.
And so like when Ray like Ray's character rather, I'm sorry, character's name is again
Aslan.
Aslan, thank you. Like, cause like I hear people, I'm like, what kind of people? And like we're having like discussion. So like at
Sounds
like
like
conveyed
dinner's
just
being
like
made. Like
yeah,
they're
I'm
making
just
dinner.
like I'm like I start to like kind of like pull back where I'm just like I'm fully invested in like if anything happens with the door because I'm feeling like we're being sent into a scenario that feels like not what we expected, and so I'm starting to kind of like pull back from this scenario. I'm looking up at like them and looking down at the door, kind of like
Yeah, and I think at this point, Mick Jagger like knocks again and like kind of floats back a little bit.
Yeah, so is Elle seeing anything down there? Like, what's happening down at the front door? Anything?
like I'm just looking. I mean, like Will would have to tell me unless I
Wait,
want
yeah,
to do
don't
like,
worry.
a check.
Way more pertinent is this couple looking at Andrew.
Yeah, I'm like, can I please do something right now?
Yeah.
No, like I'm just like literally
Yeah.
looking around, like what is
happens,
happening?
Andrew?
I immediately pull up my concealed bow staff, not bow staff, my crossbow.
Yeah.
And just usher for them to be quiet, and I just go to move in, just start moving toward them very quickly with my weapon drawn, not aggressively, like I'm trying to get them to not say or do anything while I get up closely, and I'm looking kind of back at Sleazel to be like, you need to come in here.
Yeah, exactly. Seeing him pull out his weapon, I'm gonna go through. I'm gonna do like a small 360 as I go in the door, as like a flourish. But I have a dagger, and I'm gonna help clear the apartment first before I talk to these people. Let me say this differently. I'll stay near the door because I don't want anybody to run to the door. So I'm just gonna come to the inside, but stay at the door.
And currently, neither of you have the badges that were given to you shown, right? Like you're just breaking and entering into this home.
Correct. Yeah, it's a full-on B&E.
Yeah. So yeah,
the couple. At this point,
the couple in the front are older.
This is all simultaneous, I imagine.
And you watch as like the man like grab the woman, and as you like break in, and they're obviously scared. They might have made like a small like screech until you told them to be quiet, and like they instantly like sunk further into the couch.
Okay. Then I would walk
over. And so
over.
we notice I notice like we're not going in because we realize like this is a civilian thing, and
we're talking.
See them pull weapons. Like I see them pull weapons, so like I'm headed up to follow them because I assume something's up.
Sure.
And then like Elle looks in the doorway, and there's this like cowering old couple, and Eris with like there's like blades and crossbows out, and I'm like.
We were told. Well, I'm not gonna say this right now. I'll say
no,
it.
Yeah, because we're split. Yeah.
Yep. No, she's there with us now.
Yeah, like I followed up. I'm like assessing the situation. I'm like,
I've got my weapon pulled on him.
Okay.
And I'm looking at you guys for
check the apartment. Like finish. Look to see if there's anybody else. Yes. Right. See if there's anybody else in the apartment.
I've got them locked down, so somebody either needs to come in and relieve me so I can search. I have stealth, which is it would be helpful for me.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, Sleazel's got it. Yes,
Sleazel's got his daggers. He did the swoop.
I'll pull my weapon back into my
you search. I'm gonna hang out with these two nice people.
And Elle is going to move to Sleazel and like not like take the weapon, but like shove it down since he can't be trusted near civilians.
And
so just kind of like ushers away, like in between, where it's like I will keep an eye on these folks, and so like I'm trying to just be like,
yeah, what you're doing to try to do that is probably make them more scared. Right now, there's 3 people in their homes, and they're just like,
it's not working. Yeah. And then I'm still forgetting that I have a badge. Just like to be super clear, is like I have not remembered at this point.
And I would say like as this, and Andrew, you're probably like now past the living room, maybe into the small hallway in the back. They're starting to be like, what are you guys doing? Like, get out of our houses. Andrew, you see a door to the right, which is a kitchen. There's a door to the left that's closed, and a door in front of you that's closed.
The door to the left, that's the kitchen. The door to the
right is the kitchen, and that's open. It's like a doorway, not so much a door. Door to the left, that's actual door closed. And then door in front of you closed.
And just so you know,
Is there no map of this on Figma?
No, you guys weren't supposed to go in here, so.
I am gonna lean forward real quick, and I'm gonna ask them politely not to speak unless they've been spoken to. I don't.
Can I ask you a question? Wait. Did you just say we weren't supposed to go in here?
I didn't plan for you to go here.
That was
was it on our thing?
Setup. You set
We-
us up to do
No,
this.
no. Guys, we don't know that the units are connected. We might literally be in units B and C, and the people we need are in A right now. So this
No,
could just be...
I already explicitly said they're not connected.
yeah.
Right, they're all.
Yeah.
Oh, I see what you're. Oh, so we can't even get down to it from there.
No, I told you even
No.
single floors might be not connected.
What the heck?
I don't know.
You didn't remember that?
No.
I thought y'all were trying to clear the building.
I thought it was I thought what you were saying was it was a 3-floor unit.
You carried me to the 3rd floor. I was saying we could come in through a wall or a ceiling.
Okay.
I thought we were trying to clear down, like clear floor, like. Okay.
If they're not connected, then it doesn't matter to me. Then I would maybe. Can someone tell me that, please?
Hey, I don't know where you're going, but you know that we're 2 floors
Okay,
above.
here's what I would say. Hey, do you guys? I would look to the man and woman. Is there a way to get downstairs from here?
Yeah, and they're just like nervously shaking their heads, like they
Okay.
have no idea what's
Then-
happening.
We have no issue with you. We have no beef with you. There is something going on below you. So maybe go hide in a bedroom, and we're not going to do any harm to you. We're going to leave. We're sorry for
Oh,
startling
we're
you.
cops.
At this
yeah.
point, I remember the badge, and I'm like,
Yeah, and that might make them like a little bit easier, but they're still like, what is going on?
just gonna back out now. Or I'm just like,
Yeah,
I
but
misread
we would
this.
say I would say it's maybe a good idea for you guys to maybe move away from the window just in case, because we don't know what we're gonna encounter with your neighbors. And then I would move out of there.
Okay. Yeah, and you can hear like rustling in the bedroom, and like a small child like sticks their head through the far back door.
I
and
take
he's
my
like
dagger
trembling
quickly.
with a little bat.
You do kill babies. At this point, I'm looking for Aslan, like wondering.
I'm already climbing down the ladder because I have gathered that someone's just making dinner and I'm seeing what's
So
happening in the
you're
front.
still on the 2nd floor, and you're.
I'm
going
like
down to the
part
first.
way down on the second. Yeah, I never went up.
Okay.
I'm already going down and I'm just peeking and seeing what's happening.
We
I
can go
greatly
through.
misunderstood that there were 3 separate units. I thought it was one 3-floor unit.
No, but what I've said is we can go through a wall. That's what I've said.
I know you said that, but I'm not listening to
Oh
you.
my gosh.
Aslan, as you go down the stairs, you see McJagger like bump against the door again.
No one's opening?
No.
All right, I'm going to scooch it over and check if it's locked.
Here's my
yeah.
question to you, Sleazel. What equipment do you think we have to get us through a metal door? That's what I would ask you. If you keep presenting, we can go through a wall.
I think someone has a lightsaber.
I have a plasma dagger.
That,
I couldn't remember who.
and I'm
but
just
I
going
was
to point
someone-
to it.
Someone's got it. Yeah.
Well, up to now, Elle has been very
I mean, she collects it, or he collects everything. I would just assume at this point.
Elle.
I have never thought it a
Elle
good
has not
idea
been
to go
great
through
with
steam.
me. He has not shared much with me. He's been very
Yeah.
standoffish.
That makes sense. We
So I
wouldn't know.
necessarily know that Elle has a plasma.
I notice it
Yeah.
because every time Elle walks by, it slaps me in the face.
Okay. If we
I'm
want
not
to party
divulging the thing that could convince him we could complete this ludicrous plan of going through steel walls and floors for no reason whatsoever.
If
So
we think that's a better option, but I honestly we can pick the lock.
I'm
and-
I'm looking at it right now to see if it's locked.
You know what I mean?
Nice.
Like we can pick it. Like I think
Yeah.
we can barge in or stealthily go in. We don't necessarily have to plasma our way through a wall.
Yeah.
Because that
Maybe
wouldn't be
that's
stealthy at
last.
all. Because we wouldn't be able to. That would take some time and effort, and by then they would be alerted that someone's coming in after.
It's weird for
Yeah.
a bard to care way more about like the show of it in the road to be like, what are we doing here? Aslan, as you like try to like lockpick that first door,
I'm just checking if it's locked and checking for the
Oh.
traps again.
yeah, it's super locked. Can you give me investigation for traps?
For the bonus.
For that bonus roll.
That's why earlier, while she's
18.
like, why earlier I was like, I have no idea what you guys are doing. I was just like, what is happening? 18?
18.
Yeah, there's no trap.
Okay. I'm going to look up and make sure they're coming down before I pick this lock because I'm not going in alone.
As
I'm
you
down.
look up,
Um,
Mick Jagger bumps into the back of your head.
With the
Like-
dart.
I push it to the side. I'm not in front of it. Oh my god. It's basically bumping into the wall now. I like shoved him to the side. And then I'm just kind of doing like a get behind me.
He's giving you sign
Because
language.
I'm gonna unlock it, but I'm not going in. So, Eris, if you wanna stealth in.
Yeah, that's fine.
Unlocked and everyone
Well,
on
wait,
standby.
Have you done a?
No, you have to do a roll
No.
to him.
That's what I'm
hand?
doing right now.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. I just didn't want to do it till they were behind me.
Make
Yeah,
sure you
no,
add
I'm posted up.
Make sure you
like,
add your 2 proficiency bonus to it.
Cool. So 10 plus.
I'm just gonna be like back up
14,
against
15,
the
16.
wall.
Yeah, I think 16. Like as you put your tools through, this one's fighting way more. But you do like at the last minute just like get it to catch and you
Okay.
hear unlock.
Okay.
All right.
So I'm going to slowly open and like make way for.
And I rolled a
Eris.
19 stealth.
Yeah, so as you guys slowly open the door, you instantly see like just a very dark room. And as the door opens, like more light pours in, and the first thing you see is a dead drow female laying across the floor. And as you look further, you see a chair knocked over with bits of tape to the bottom front legs. You see the whole room tossed. And then as you get closer to the drow woman, you see a knife through the temple, the side of her head.
How did the neighbors not hear this shit?
Okay.
Steel walls.
I
So
will.
you're now sneaking in, and I'm gonna just like close the door a bit behind you, but still watching you, just so that you can
Wait,
make
you're gonna
sure.
leave me in there by myself?
No. Well, you're stealthing in to check out
Why are
the
you shutting
area.
the door?
I'm ushering someone in with me to inspect the body while I move deeper into the house.
Okay.
And
I'll
that's yeah.
stealth
And I was
behind them.
there anyway, so I'm gonna follow Eris and
You
like
wanna go?
check
Okay,
the person.
cool.
I'm
Yeah.
gonna before I go in, I am gonna talk to Mick Jagger, tell him I told you I'd come back for you, and I am gonna go ahead and get my dart back off of him.
I'm basically babysitting this happening outside and just watching that nobody's coming in behind them. Then.
So Elle and Eris are inside.
Yes.
It sounds like Sleazel is slowly making his way in with his companion bot, and Ray maybe coming in last or just keeping an eye on
I'm
the
just
door.
keeping an eye on the door
She's,
for now.
she's shutting us in and locking the door.
And now I'm gonna re-lock it with my luck pick. Is that?
Oh.
So yeah, you can find light switches in the room like you would see in any houses. I don't know if you want to turn the lights on, but as the door kind of creeps a little bit back to closed, things get hard to see, right? Everything's cast back into darkness other than a sliver of light pouring in through that crack.
Do I get I'm not familiar with the Aarakocra. As a bird, I imagine I would get some sort of heightened vision at night. I don't know what that.
Almost everyone in D&D comes with dark vision. I don't see dark
Ooh, I
vision
do have dark
on
vision.
your features and traits.
Shit, maybe I should have gone in then.
I don't
You think?
I don't think you do. I don't see it on the sheet I gave you, so I'm assuming you don't.
Dang, that's
I can search a little bit more, but
Is it further
Oh,
in the building dark as well? It just
yeah,
keeps being
all the
dark?
lights are off.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm just gonna look for a light switch beside the door and flip it on if it's there.
Yeah. So the light. So you no longer see that little sliver of light pouring in because the light inside overwhelms it.
We're like the two stealthiest people with the most unstealthy motherfucker here, turning lights on, making things glow,
But
blowing up.
Wait. Before that happens, Aarakocra has 60 feet of dark vision.
That's
Okay.
good to know, but this already happened.
Because the gnome doesn't. The gnome's like, can't see.
Exactly.
I'm gonna put that in my notes though that I have.
Yes,
that
please.
I have.
Yeah, thank you.
And so like
that wasn't added.
what do I find like when I'm like checking this like dead drow woman? Obviously dead, and we already know to the head. Like should I do like a check? Yeah.
And is there anything in particular you're looking for, or a specific part of the body you're searching?
Just kind of like assessing the general situation, because obviously we know cause of death. Obviously we know dead already, so I'm not checking for like signs of life. I'm just mainly seeing if there's anything other than the like obviously apparent, because I don't need to spend more time looking at this dead body than necessary. So 13
Oh,
with my
well, also,
bonus.
we're in Figma.
Oh, where?
No, I forgot we're in Figma. I can use the things I made. Turn that off and go to that one. Nope. Boop, boop. That one.
Oh, there we go.
And then so I don't know if you guys want to move your
Yeah.
markers in. It's a extraordinarily tight room, right? It's a 15 by 20. Why is my Figma acting so slow?
It is
Try
going
this again.
slowly.
Right?
So tiny.
Figma
tiny.
servers. Okay, so that's like the drow kind of there. The chairs are kind of strewn about. There's a table in the back, and the whole place is just like a mess.
They're strewn where?
All right, so
About.
Okay. So like
So-
if it's that small.
I'm already making my way through that doorway. Yeah.
So like I did a check of the person. I assume that there's nothing like noteworthy.
Did you give me what was the roll?
It was 13.
You see like really like just things that took some time. But you see that there was tape on both her wrists that matched the tape that's on the chair. And you see in the back of her head a bunch of the hair is shaved.
All right, I've made my way through into that.
Yeah.
Next room.
So as you go into that next room, it's a sort of living room, or not living room. The room you just came in was more of a living room. This is more of like a bedroom, but there is a door to your right. All the beds have been pushed aside. Like none of those beds look like they were there. They were thrown. And that little thing that looks like stairs is actually a hole carved through the floor.
Just like you wanted. Merry Christmas, Sneasel.
And as you look down, because you're on the first floor, you see as it breaks through probably like inches of support and flooring, and then goes into what almost looks like a service area. And you guys would just know, like, what was that?
Like a corridor?
Yeah. Well, you really can't see much in, right? It's just like kind of, it gets dark quick. But you know, just logistically, that the further you go down, like the further towards the outside shell of the station you are, right? So you are now like past the living area, like if you had entered past the living area, and that's like more of maybe there's wires down there that kind of all the utilities and stuff would be down in that area.
I want to go ahead because I'm still in the first room.
Yep.
I do want to search the body for identification and any like their tablet, personal effects.
Yeah, all of that is actually missing.
Okay.
All right, I'm gonna try to.
I'm
I'm
gonna
gonna
take-
check.
But that was smart.
Did anyone take the dagger that's in the side of the head? I'm going to go and pull out the dagger. I'm going to look on it to see if there's any engravings on it, but then I'm going to wipe it off and keep it.
Okay.
Are there any engravings on it?
Nicely done.
No, but give me an investigation check.
Can I scan the area and see if anybody's like
After Patrick's
suspiciously
done.
watching?
15.
Yeah, that's enough. So no markings, but as you pull it out, you do see that the blood has all like hardened and coagulated. Is that the right word?
Coagulated. That is
Yes.
a word, yes.
So she's been dead for a bit, but not so long that it's dried.
I want to
Yeah.
make a note that I am going to turn around and lock the door behind us.
Yes, and then Ray, to your point, you haven't seen anyone else in the area.
Okay.
Like, there's no one else in the two rooms you've entered.
Okay, I'm gonna go in behind them then. I just wanted to make sure that nobody was like watching the area and like following us in.
I'm checking this door right here.
As you approach it, it's locked.
I'm gonna try to pick it.
Okay.
At this point, I'm like kind of like on high alert given like the hole in the floor and the dead person. So I'm gonna one-handedly you all find out that I have a plasma blade.
And
See,
when
like, a
I
glow.
when I come
Yep.
in and see this happening, because I imagine once I'm kind of sneaking in, they're inspecting the body. I clearly see someone's dead. I'm going to pull kind of like a very worn, slightly rusted machete out from underneath my layers and just have it at my side on guard and back up Eris as he's heading into this next.
So I see that you kill people with tetanus. Incredible.
Yeah.
They'll
Didn't die over weeks.
get lockjaw before
My bad.
Quick
So
question.
I rolled. Well, hang on. I rolled for
the
the
lockpick.
lock picking. Yeah. So and I rolled a 15.
Yeah, that's enough. It unlocks, and you're just opening the door.
Yeah, I'll slowly open the door. Do you need me to stealth?
No, it's okay. As you open it, this is the only room that has its own light already on, and behind it, you see this almost altar style build structure inside. So there's like this metal on metal, box on box on box, and then coming out of this, what's mostly dark black metal, is a brass symbol that I have crudely drawn in here already. So let me go find that. Boop. Oh, it's on the top. But there's like a brass symbol, almost statue, coming kind of on top of this like little altar, and it's all lit with these like almost amber light.
Okay.
On that dagger I pulled, can you tell me the stats on it?
Yeah, 1 second. Where did I put that?
And does it look like it would belong to any like certain type of like race, culture, etc. of people? You know.
Yeah, I don't think it would look like almost like just like an average dagger you would find on this ring, right? It's not fancy. Dagger. It's a 1d4
I have a plasma blade
piercing.
too.
What did you say it is?
1d4 piercing. It can also be thrown 20 feet and 60 feet with disadvantage.
All right, I want to
I
go
have
over to
two.
the hole in the
I have two
floor.
buttons.
I want to go to
Yeah.
the hole in the floor. I want to stick my head down closer to it, and I want to listen to see if I can hear anybody down in the hole.
He has dark hearing.
I can hear 60 feet. And that's is that perception or investigation?
I think it'd be perception because you can't see.
Okay, 12.
Because you're not throwing a light down there, correct?
No light. Let's listen for
Yeah.
noises. 12.
Yeah, so the noise that is the most prominent, we had talked about kind of the hum and the noise that was on here. All the noise of people quickly goes away as you stick your head in. But you can hear the rotation of the ship and the creaking and all the sounds of like I would say space, right? But space doesn't have a sound, but it's all like that machinery sounds. There are no sounds of things like moving that would overwhelm that at all.
Okay. Fair enough.
So I
at
assume
this point,
that's
I'm
their
gonna look.
egress.
I'm gonna look at Aslan and like look at the like
The hole in the ground.
the very clear hole into the underbelly.
Yeah.
And I kind of want to go down.
I was gonna say, like, I'm gonna make eye contact with her and then Sleazel and say, "You hear anything?"
Oh, I know. It's
No.
nothing but the whir of electronics and motors.
So I'm going to get down on my knees
It
and
doesn't
stick
mean
my
there's
head
nothing
down.
under there.
I'm gonna stick my head down and look because I have dark vision. So I can.
Yeah,
actually-
so you can only see in grayscale and only see, I believe it's 30 feet for you or 60?
60.
Cool. So let's see if I can find where I want to be. Boop, boop. Sorry, I got to lock that.
I have the ability to dual wield plasma blades, and I have 2 plasma blades.
So you can kind of see right there the stairs. That's where the hole exits. Or yeah, so it's about 10 feet, right? So it's much smaller than the normal living space of the fourth ring. And right as you see, like all those boxes and stuff, there's just a ton of crates, and some of them are open, some of them are broken, and it just looks like scraps of metal, maybe some computer bits, right? It's just kind of like garbage. And then there's 2 doors closed on either side.
All right, I'm gonna pop my head up. It's a small room, 2 doors, bunch of trash. How you doing, Eris? What's in there?
Is there
So
light?
I just walked up to
Okay.
this altar and am investigating this gold symbol. I rolled a 17.
So the symbol is non-recognizable to you. You've never seen anything like it. You kind of get a tech vibe from it, but not necessarily anything overwhelming. But the altar feels like an altar that other gangs would have. It's definitely a place of worship. And the fact that it was all lit means they took care of that more than they took care of anything else.
Okay, there's no additional markings on there or anything that I could take from there that would.
Andrew, Persimmon, whatever your name is. Since we're carrying around parchment, are you able to make an impression of it so we can keep a copy of that symbol?
That might
Take
be
a picture.
no. So what you're saying makes total sense, but probably means I described it wrong. It's more of a
Oh.
sculpture coming out of the pedestal.
Oh,
So it's like a dark metal pedestal, kind of like a big
Right.
boxy shaped, and then this kind of thing kind of comes
But-
out on top.
But what I was asking was what Patrick. That was the direction I was going to go, which was
Is
there
there words
markings
engraved?
on the actual altar that I could? Okay.
No.
So then I would just pull out my data pad and I would sketch that.
Yeah, or take a picture.
I was gonna say, can we take pictures?
We have camera phones.
But I'm an artist.
We were texting.
You're right.
We were voice to text each other like across the. So yes,
We gotta
At this
remember the
point-
voice to text. That's such a good mechanic.
I'm so locked in there. And so while they're looking at this glowing like altar doodad, like Aslan's given the all clear that it appears that it's just
Yeah.
like an empty room and it's dark.
And you have
I
dark
have-
vision too, right?
I have dark vision. I also have a plasma blade, so there's a light source there. So
I
I'm
don't
gonna
want to
head
make
down.
light yet. I'm a little worried about making light, but like I'd say I'll help you down and we go down while they
Yeah.
continue.
I want to go down because I'm agitated. Like Elle is agitated at this point because there's a dead drought. This thing like we already like tried to clear 2
Got it.
floors that weren't of use, and so I'm like feeling pressured.
Tracy, are you a drow or are you
Push.
just an elf?
I'm just an elf, but I'm feeling
Either would
triggered.
elf.
No, totally fine.
Don't
Totally fine.
say
I was just
Feeling
just like
triggered where
that.
I'm like, what is this? So I'm feeling like a little defensive. Also, we had already kind of advertised with the banging robot on the door, so I'm feeling a need to see if
Get the
people are
fuck out.
clearing out or what's happening. So
We'll move down and just check out the area, or at least I will. I have no problem jumping down.
Mhm. it's stairs. There are stairs, so we're just walking down, right?
Okay.
We're
No, sorry.
dropping.
I use the stair icon just to show that it goes down.
Yeah, because
But
there's a hole in the
there
floor.
is no
so.
ladder or anything. It's just
That's
like a
what-
hole.
Okay.
Sorry.
That's helpful.
Can
Thank
I go
you.
down stealth? Like, quiet.
You want to land quietly?
Yeah, like a little like cat,
Sure. Sure. Give me a
Minxie.
stealth. What was that?
like cat.
I didn't bother. I literally
Minions?
just dropped down.
Did you
Yeah.
come down with me? I didn't know if you
Fine.
were or not.
No, I was already like through the hole. I was like,
I only got an 8
"Bye."
anyway.
You trip
Yeah,
and
so you
fall.
both. Yeah. And
Just
as
pitch
you
this.
land, there is a bit of an echo, and you can feel it's colder down here than it was even up there.
All right, I'm following now. I took a picture. That's what I was doing. I
Wait.
was taking a picture.
Well,
Persimmon.
you're still doing that. This is at the same time, so I think we're checking
Yeah.
stuff while he's checking up there.
But I'm saying I've taken the picture. I've walked back out there with.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
I need to have a conversation with you before you jump in this hole, by the way. But I'll let them continue their investigation. But you and I need to have a conversation before you jump in this hole.
All right, call me.
So I have to do a like
We're doing
the site has
investigation?
the investigation check, right? Just to kind of like because I want to look at these 2 doors. I want to know what they like look like. Is it too dark to see down there to see like the doors from a distance, or I have to go up to each
Elves
one?
would have dark vision as well.
Yes.
So
up to
you
60
both
feet.
you both can see. So you just can't see
Okay.
color, right? Everything's just like a grayscale wash.
Okay, and so
So
what do
if-
I see? Like, what's the difference between the 2 doors? Is there one that I can discern from just looking
Um,
at it?
No, so like the biggest thing that you immediately see is that they don't match any of the doors that were on upstairs. Right? So they're more like bay doors. They look like they electric function. So you wouldn't be able to open or close them. They're more of like a slide in and out.
Okay, and I'm gonna get distracted because I hear like murmurings from somewhere, and I'm not really sure where they're coming from. And so I look over at Aslan. I'm like, "Do you hear that?"
And I'm like making noise, looking. Well, probably not a lot of noise, but I want to be looking through the boxes while this is happening. So I'll peek up
I'm
and
like-
stop what I'm doing to listen and hear the murmurs and see if we discern anything.
And I was like, "The sound is coming from the. Are those idiots on the phone together?"
I think they're just talking to each other. They just don't want us hearing. So I think they're just having like a conversation in the little.
We didn't want to slow the game down, so we were having our
That's
our
fine.
conversation
It's
while you guys
about
were-
this rash thing.
So Sleezel and I
I-
are gonna walk back in here, and we're gonna investigate specifically. We're gonna look to see if there's anything under or behind this thing.
Yeah, and as you start moving it, you realize what might have been like thick metal is just like hollow boxes.
Oh,
And you are easily able to like kind of push things apart, and it looked way fancier than it was. Everything's actually really light. As you turn like the symbol around, you can tell it was more like repurposed metal that was maybe cast in bronze or painted. And then behind it is just like the normal steel wall again. Like this might have been another room at one point or a closet that was repurposed into this.
All right, so in that case, we'll head to the hole. But for the bed that I'm gonna walk beside, I always keep shit under the edge of my mattress. So I'm just gonna naturally like lift up and look if there's anything under the edge of the mattress.
Why don't you give me an investigation check?
Can I do that for the boxes downstairs?
Sure.
That's a 19.
Oh, 1 second.
You just found 17,000 credits.
I get a castle. I get a castle.
You find a card.
It's the van.
Oh.
Open book to random thing. You find a phasing detector. The set of goggles enhances your perception of extra-dimensional and out-of-phase creatures and objects. For the next day, you have an advantage on perceiving and interacting with these creatures and objects, including attacking and defending against them. And for you to know all that, I would assume like it's still in its packaging, right?
Okay,
Like,
right.
maybe it was like a toy of a kid, and he just like put it
It's in
under
a
his bed.
Radio Shack bag.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh.
Okay,
This
I'm gonna use the orb.
I was gonna say,
That's what I was just gonna
this
tell you,
reminds
actually.
me-
So I was waiting.
El,
Gonna
you should
use
come
the
use the orb
orb.
Yeah.
upstairs, though, right? Or
Yeah,
you
yeah.
think you
No,
should use it
I want to
downstairs?
know which door I need to go through because first off, time check for us, we have 6 minutes. But
Yeah.
also, I'm feeling this pressure, so like I want to go,
Yeah.
like I want to see where we're at. So I'm gonna, and since we're in a dark room where no one can see,
Yeah.
let's light this bitch up.
And I got a 9, so I don't know if I found anything with a 9.
Just
Do I
the
need to
scraps.
roll
Yeah.
to use the thing?
No. So you turn it
Good
on,
children.
and
Two
out
goblins
of the
emerge.
out of that half dome of
3.
glass comes almost green dust, and as it fills the room, you can see it kind of reverberating as if echoes of sound are pushing it around. And all of a sudden, you just see real faintly the shape of 2 forms. One a taller human male, and the other of a smaller goblin. And they both drop down, very similar to how you guys did, and start walking towards the door at the top.
Okay. Is that it's
As
silent?
that,
Was that?
I was gonna say, as that was happening, I feel this anxious surge in seeing it, even though I knew she was using the thing, kind of. I saw it over the corner of my eye. I'm kind of getting on guard, like thinking it was somebody coming down and realizing she's using the orb.
Sure.
It makes no sound though, right? Like it doesn't make a scene. It's
No.
Is it like a help me Obi-Wan Kenobi, you're my only hope kind of thing?
Yeah, or yeah, it's not like that, like where she could talk, right? It's just
Right, but
echoes.
visually speaking though, it's not.
Yeah, the only difference between what you just said, I would say it's much less defined, right? It's just little dots that kind of outline bodies, and you can tell like a goblin's ears versus the human and the size difference, but you would never be able to be like, oh, I recognize that goblin. Does that
Like
kind of
little
make
pixels,
yeah?
matrixy pixels.
And eventually they would make their way back into the little half orb.
Okay.
Okay.
And so it's that door, that top one.
That was the one they went through.
I'm gonna suggest real quick to everybody, if we know they went behind that door, why don't we first see what's behind the other door?
The opposite of what we find.
Like this is gonna start something potentially. So let's just real quick check out the other one so we know, because we have an idea what's behind this one now. Let's maybe
Yeah.
check out the other one real quick, and then we can like.
If
Did
someone
that
we
note-
see the holograms unlock the door? Or did they just walk through?
They just walked through.
Okay, so that
I
tells
need
me
to-
it's not unlocked, or it's not locked. So I kind of just want to open it.
On this note, though, I think this is a good stopping point since we're gonna lose Tracy anyway. Before we open chaos behind a door.
my recommendation, I agree. I think it's about to go down regardless of what happens.
Yeah.
We don't want to get in the mix and then have to pause. But I think someone has to, if we're not going through this door, I think you're right that we should maybe check the other spot, but someone needs to actively be on this door though, because
Yeah.
we now know that there is definitively somebody has walked through this recently. So we know that there's potentially somebody right on the other side of the door.
I'm gonna usher Mick Jagger right in front of the top door, and then I want to walk over and open the bottom door.
You can't. It's locked.
Okay, then I'm gonna ask.
we
I'm gonna
don't-
gesture wildly to the 2 people that pick stuff, and ask.
Well,
the
and
one of
that's
them
why
to
it's
open
going to
it.
be a conversation because he said that they're different doors. They're like sliding, like automated doors. So
What's that? There's an M there. What is
Yeah,
that?
Mick
that's
Jagger.
Mick
Mick
Jagger.
Jagger. I love it.
That's where you wanted him, right, Patrick?
Yeah,
Right up there
Mick will
towards-
be in
yeah.
front of that door because I want to go to the other door.
yeah, so I think Eris and I would have to go and show if we can even open the door.
I mean, I'm willing to go check the door for sure.
Yeah.
As long as we know that we're going to be covered, that somebody couldn't just walk through and us not know, right? Like, if Mick Jagger will hold down the fort for us at least enough so that we won't be caught off guard, then I'm fine to go check that bottom door and see if I can open it.
Mick Jagger's is
Okay, then-
effective as 2 sleazels, which is
I
still
think
half a person.
I think I have an empty backpack that's as effective as 2 seasons.
As you guys approach both doors, neither of them open like you assume they had for the other people that just kind of walked through them. You do see small computer panels on both, though.
And what
Is
is
that-
that? When
is
you say
that-
computer panels, like if I tap one of them, does it give me numbers? Does it give me a design? What does it give me?
Numbers.
How many digits?
Does our lock picking abilities have to
10.
do with like cracking codes into this type of thing?
What was that?
Does our lock picking abilities in this type of a situation help us crack codes to get into?
We
locks
just have
like
to have a
that?
discussion of what your
I
lockpicking
love
tools
that
look like, I guess.
question.
Let me ask you this: 10 numbers, and then does it show me how many numbers I need to complete a combination?
5.
I'm gonna type
So
in.
it's like star, 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 then 10 numbers.
I'm gonna type in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Yeah, nothing happens.
Okay. Luckily, nothing bad happened because that could have also
You get
triggered
zapped.
something.
No.
All
Yeah, I
right.
think
Alarm, a red thing.
I think we should figure out in this space age world, our thieves tools probably have some sort of like
Code
computing
cracking
ability or hacking ability. That seems
Well,
to make sense.
And we have a smuggler. Who else do we have backgrounds?
I'm a scavenger rogue.
And then Tracy, what was yours? Do you remember?
One
Bounty
badass
hunter.
And then Patrick,
What was my what?
your background was it entertainer.
That's about right.
He was probably chef.
I'm a gang member. Remember, I'm part of the Steel
I do-
Skins. That's
I
why I
remember.
love hammers so much because their logo is a hammer.
The Stillskins?
Yeah,
I
I'm
would
part of the
assume so.
Rumples.
We can talk about it, but I think everyone except for the gang member, you could come up with a reason why some sort of thieves tools or something would have more of like a hacking mentality.
Cool.
But not to be the wet towel. It is 9:00
Yep.
Eastern Standard Time, so we got to call it a night. It was great seeing you guys again. I had a whole bunch of fun. I hope you guys are ready to actually dive in.
I'm ready.
I feel like we're getting more comfortable. I'm having excited feelings about what the hell is behind this door.
And then I think when we come back in 2 weeks, we will figure out who's going through what door, and we'll just get right back into what we were doing.
Yeah, Marion Bright,
Yeah.
Kate Carlton, Mark Bowton, Zach Wilkinson, everybody else that
Mark.
joined us. Thank you, and also congratulations to Vilky Studios for getting us a name of 1 sub. We'll be back.
You mean
on-
congratulations to not Lauren?
I know. I had to
For-
time it like that. But with that, that's it for this. We'll be back on Monday for our Pop Culture Roundtable, and then maybe we'll take some extended time off because we've been on here a lot lately. But only to put together even more content. So with that, let's all give our socials where people can find us, and let's get out of here. Will, why don't you go first?
Yeah, I'm at Wilturin on Instagram.
And then we'll mix it up. Tracy.
I am at Tracy Chang.
But now we'll go back to
Wherever.
Ray.
Inked flame.
And then to that Andrew dude.
At Andrew Sale with 3s instead of these.
And you can't find me. That's the trick. And so with that, we're going to get out of here. Everybody start waving. We're going to see you later. Goodbye.